We're
Hi!
hi.
Hello, everyone.
So Peyton.
This is very well organized.
Yeah.
As one of the organizers, I am allowed to say this. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you enjoyed that first talk. I thought it was really interesting. And we got to learn a lot of things. So thank you, Jess and Taraz. As for us, we're going to talk about women and the treatment of women in Smash. So just a disclaimer that we are two cis white women, so we don't have a lot of intersectionality knowledge. So for example, we might have a lot of blind spots on trans women, and we're very sorry about that. So we will be talking about women in Smash from our point of view and our experience. Just for your information, I have the chat open here, so I can read your questions and suggestions and remarks. And I'm ignoring. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get Kafkah to ignore them, so I'll be looking at them and possibly repeating them. And yes, we are both in the same room and we're not wearing masks, but that's for a very good reason. We live together.
Roommates.
Housemates. Not the same room.
Okay.
So, yeah, wear masks. Please be safe and don't go outside and don't die, please. Okay. So, Kafkah, do you want to introduce yourself to start with?
Yeah, so briefly, hi, I'm Kafkah, and I'm mostly a French PO. I'm not very player. I discovered Smash a few years ago, like in 2014, I guess. And with Project M, before that, I had never heard of Smash of my life, and that's why I didn't know that PM was not a real game.
It is.
Not official. Okay. And after that, I started to run a lot of tournaments on Smash 4 during the year 2015. During this same year, I discovered Melee while attending the PM tournament of the Heir 2, I guess. Yeah, it was Heir 2. And after that, I realized that Melee was the truth, and I stick to it. I stayed here for a while. And I started to...
It's been 5 years?
Yeah, it's been 5 years of everything. And yeah. I'm a bit anxious. You can hear it, but it's gonna be okay for after a few times. Few words.
In a while.
So
I'm Exile. You might know me as Lexi because people know me as my first name because I'm not really a player either. I am also more of a TO. I organized Esports 2017, 2020. So that was supposed to be a thing, which we'll be talking about later on. So I'm more of a TO than a player. I do play a little bit. And I tried playing for a while. So I arrived at the end of 2015. At the beginning of 2016, I was part of Le French Mêlée, which is the organization that coordinated Melee in France at the time. I quit at the end of 2017 and joined again in 2018, at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
2019, sorry, it's been a year. So, yeah.
We took a break at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the reasons in this talk. So this is us, and we're going to talk about the treatment of women in Smash and being a woman in Smash. And the first thing we wanted to do is to just start with a reminder that many people consider Smash as a way to escape real life.
Yeah, like a bubble who could be like free of the same power dynamics that we can face in real life, but actually in the Smash community, we're the same people that we are outside the Smash communities. So we're facing exactly the same, and we are behaving the same. So yep. Sexism, racism, homophobia, they're still here. They're still here.
So basically everything that exists in the greater community also exists in the Smash community, and we tend to forget that. And Bryce is also going to talk specifically about power dynamics and more like top player privilege and people who have been in the scene forever and their types of power in the Smash scene. Whereas we're going to talk about, well, it's okay, I've told you about 10 times what we're going to talk about, so let's talk about it now. With a quick history, maybe, of women in Smash since the beginning.
Yeah. So
the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning.
The beginning being in 2006.
With Milk Tea.
Milk Tea, for sure. This is the first person who comes to mind when we talk about women in Smash. At least in the first days, we tend to stop at those first days.
Yeah, she was the first player, the first woman I ever heard about outside the French community. When I was quite the only one with Boobs and Jean at the time.
Boobs, who is actually presenting in the roundtable on race, which you definitely should not miss. So from there, so we had heard about Milk Tea, etc., but it was still extremely vague, and we didn't have a good idea of who was doing what. And then we found out later on from Milk Tea. Well, the real big step was Smash Sisters. In January 2016, Milk Tea and Emily Waves organized the first Smash Sisters event at Genesis, and then something happened in the French community as well, because Maye and Tech were at Genesis, and they came back, and something happened.
Yeah, they saw it, and they thought, hey, why? We should really do the same in France. It would be a great idea for the French girls in the
the French community.
Yeah, the French community. And then they basically started a group conversation with every single woman they knew in the French community,
which was 5 people.
5 people. So I was at school and I just checked my DM. I guess it's DM. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what is this conversation with a lot of women. I had no idea they existed.
Hi.
And who are those guys? All right, what's going on? Like, we have a good idea.
Yeah. And they had a really great idea, which was Smash Sisters in France. And what we wanted to point out with this story was that Smash Sisters was brought by men at the idea of men in France. And they did the best thing they could ever do, which is create a group with all the women and say, hey, we've heard of this. Do you want to do it? And if you want to do it, we'll support you, but we won't do it ourselves. Which we're very thankful for, because it would never have worked otherwise. So, not that it did work that way either, because we did our first Smash Sisters event in Nantes, which is in Western France, in March 2016. You weren't there. I was there.
Yeah, it's March.
March, Nantes Arena.
Early.
Yes, twice a year. End of March, 19th of March.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
It's my dad's birthday. Anyway, so we did this, and it completely tanked because, well, if there's 4 women, then how do you do crew battles? So we did a round robin, and it was pretty nice, and that's when we realized, for many of us, well, for the 4 women present, we realized that the point of Smash Sisters is to play with other women, etc., but it's more importantly to meet other women and get to talk, and to share and be a group.
And to bond.
Yep. Bond.
To bond, yeah.
Yep. So that actually allowed the community to change a lot from 2014 to 2020. A lot of personal experiences changed, a lot of points of view changed and evolved with time.
Yeah, maybe we should make a quick disclaimer that we are going to talk mostly about French community.
Yes.
Yeah.
French Melee community.
Yeah, French.
Yep. Because experiences change a lot from one country to the next and from one game to the next. It's very different communities with very different levels of maturity. So that's a thing we can discuss. So to start with, maybe we can start with one of the biggest questions, one of the most asked questions that we still hear all the time, which is, why do you want more women? Like, we get that you want to make women comfortable, etc., but why is it so important for you to have more female players?
At first I would say, we need money, but there is
so my first argument would be like being decent human beings.
Yeah, just because it's cool. Like, we like women. We want them to attend our tournament.
Human rights are nice.
But on a more
Pragmatic.
Pragmatic matter. Like, as TO, we need people to attend our tournaments. So we need our tournaments to be enjoyable first, and how to say it? Attrayant.
Attractive.
Yeah. We need it to be attractive. And when I started organizing and attending tournaments, it was definitely not attractive.
Nope. When you get into your room and there's 40 guys and you're the only woman, and when I say 40, sometimes it's 400, you don't want to be there. Even if you're having the best time and you enjoy the game and you enjoy your friends, etc., you don't want to be the only woman in a room.
And when you're missing like half of the population at the tournament, you're missing, you can double your attendees.
Yep.
And you can double the cash prize.
Yep. So going back to some of the issues that we face in the community. So we know that if you're watching this conference today, you're probably already aware of most of what's going on. But quick reminders. So the first thing is women discover Smash exactly the same way as men, through brothers and through friends, exactly the same way as men. And then there's one extra way, which is boyfriends. It's an extra way. It's not the main way, actually. We've seen in our studies that actually more women come through friends and family. However, when you're a younger sister, it's not the same as when you're a younger brother.
Yeah, because it's basically over for you. Like, it's not only that when you're a younger sister, it's when you're young girl, okay? Yeah. Because when you're a young boy, you will be the community's young brother, okay? Younger, older men will like relate to you. Remember, like, they will have a natural
friendship.
Yeah, friendship, complicity with you. Like, they want to protect you. They want to make you a mini me, you know. But when you're a girl and that you're the young sister, you're not gonna be the community young sister. You're gonna be like
the really obnoxious kid.
Yeah, the really annoying, and you will be a kid, and they don't want you to be here. Like, you're a girl, and a kid girl. Like, what are we supposed to do?
And what we see is that some of those kid girls have been there for 10 years, and now they're over the age of 20.
And they're still the kid girl, like,
and still nobody takes them seriously, even though they're over the age of 20. So that's a real problem.
So that you will be just the younger sister of someone else. So you're too young. You won't see this with a boy, because when you're a girl, you will be too young to be a friend of older men, but you won't be young enough not to be sexualized like other women. So you will be super alone. Super alone.
Unless there's, again, a whole network of women to support you. And we always get back to the point that if you're the only woman or the only girl, you're going to be in trouble. And if there's a whole group around you, and if you're a group of women who support each other and who evolve together, it's going to be so much easier for everyone. Now, we are conscious of time, so we're going to move on to representing. So basically, when we get to playing, then we have two scenarios. I went on the radio talking about that last week.
Last week, yeah.
Monday, and I did this radio show on women in Smash, but in French, and had the exact same feedback from every woman who had listened, and they were all saying, "Oh, it's true. If you're bad, then you're living proof that all women are bad. You have a huge burden on you, and it's so stressful, and a lot of women don't want to play at all."
Yeah, we don't want to be responsible of the whole woman in Smash, legacy. We're not responsible for the entire womanhood. So it can be
overwhelming.
Overwhelming and repelling. Like, we don't want this, so we hide to play, or we just don't play, or we go and become a TO.
And then if you are decent at the game, if you start improving, then people will take it in mind that you need to be the first woman in the top 100 in the world. Like, that's gonna be, they can't accept that you just want to be decent.
Yeah,
like, you have to
average
be
player, you know,
Yeah.
like once you start to make good move or to win some games, you're like, okay, you're gonna be the first woman top player, and you're like, no, I just start talking here. I want to be like decent.
I'm just like short hub double laser. Leave me alone.
Yeah, maybe web shine sometime, you know. But and you're like, we want to train you, and you. It's super sweet, but it's super overwhelming and terrifying.
Mhm.
Especially when you already have to deal with a lot of things, other things around it.
So what we do usually when we're in this situation where either we're bad and then all women are bad and we're living proof of it, or we're getting good and then there's enormous pressure to be the best, many of us switch to the safest choice, which is to TO.
Yeah.
And then everyone can be a good TO. And as a woman, I think it's actually easier to be a good TO because people notice you. So it's very easy to be like, come to me if you have any problems, because they're not going to confuse you with anyone else. There's literally 3 women in the room. So TOing is actually a safe choice for many of us, but that's not what we all want to do. Many of us would like to play at our respective levels, but we want to have a good time. And that's where our initiatives come through. So, very quick overview of the initiatives. First one being Smash Sisters, which we've already talked about. And yeah.
The second one, I don't know which
one.
No,
let's just talk about Smash Sisters just to say it. So the Notarena one, the 2016 one, tanked. I just wanted to say how grateful we are that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, HF1 2020, which is gonna happen in like 2026 at this rate, but it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. We have we had 22 out of 210. Is that how we say it? Women attending.
That's more than 10%. The bar is extremely low.
Extremely low, but like seeing 6 years ago.
I mean, the first Smash Sisters, non-failed Smash Sisters events that I went to was Heir 3. And thank you so much, Heir, because we keep talking about Heir. Charles and Jessica were talking about it earlier. We're talking about Heir 2. We're talking about Heir 3. It's amazing. And Heir 3, there were, I think, 8 or 10 of us, and out of 500 people, which already seemed huge at the time.
Yeah. Personally,
and we're
it was
doing
kind
better
of
and better.
epiphany. Like, it was a community epiphany. Like, I've been TOing on Smash for 1 year, and when I discovered Melee at Heir and I saw all these people, it was so a different move. And
until then, I didn't really know what I was doing in Melee, and that one thing, that one event, people were actually hyped for us and they were cheering for us, and it was a real event. And personally, I'm the worst player in the world. I was. Now I'm like 3rd worst. I was the worst player ever. You know, I am. Thank you for being the 2nd worst. But at the time, nobody had ever cheered on me, but so many people had made fun of me while I was playing, and they were like, oh, look, she can't even short hop, etc. And Smash Sisters was the first time that I saw people who wanted me to win and who were actually cheering on me instead of just making fun. So there were also people making fun, but for once, that was not the point. And that is one of my biggest and happiest memories in Melee, and we need more of those memories. Outside of the events like Smash Sisters, we also have rule sets which are doable by anyone. So, for example, we have the Code of Conduct. Yeah, we have a lot of conduct, worked a lot since it has been created, and not only about sexism, but it's not only about misogyny. It's about everything, bad behavior, harassment, and really, it's like every initiatives. It has been super duper exhausting. Like, because every time we start
something like a new project, a new initiative, we know we will have to face weeks of debates about, hey, yeah, no, we need this because the situation in the community is already good, and look, we have already 3 girls.
We have 3 women. They're very happy,
and they're happy. So the community don't have issue, doesn't have.
That's actually something like, yes, the women in the scene are happy. That's why they stayed. Now, what made the 27 other women leave?
I've seen a lot 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, code of conduct.
Yeah, the energy and the time that we spend trying to prove that those initiatives are good is energy and time that we don't spend doing those initiatives. And one prime example of that is warning lists of people who have been problems to some women. We tried this several times, and it never went well.
Like every time men
Men
learned about the existence of the list, they're like,
it often leaked.
Yeah, it often leaked, and they went full rage every time.
Yeah, because we have a lot of men who are like, oh, this guy shouldn't be on the list. He's my friend. I know he's safe. And then the women are like, well, we added him because clearly he's not. But as a man, obviously, you've never been his target.
You should. Yeah, in previous. So this list has been seen as a warning list and as a council list, but it was more of a log, to keep records of behaviors, of suspicious behaviors, and it's not something that applies only about women and queer phobia or racism. It's something that can be very useful for TOing, like basically, just keeping records of behaviors of players help you a lot when you have to make decisions.
And just to be clear, we're not talking about ban lists. We're really talking about just keep an eye on them lists. It's not the same. We're not asking for action. We're just asking for, if something happens, please be warned. Please be careful.
And it also helps, like, when you're not sure about, okay, I think this player is acting very strange toward me, or like his behavior is. Mm-hmm. And you say it to a TO, and he's like, yeah, we know. We actually have. You're not the first one to tell us this.
It's good to be taken seriously.
Yeah, it's a little relief. It's super relieving. But yeah, as I say, it's not only for women. It's as a TO, it's a super useful tool.
Yep.
Just keeping tracks,
And then the last initiative that we've done is a women-only Discord server, several women-only Discord servers per country, per region, and per continent, and one global one. And those, again, a lot of people were not very happy with the initiative. Again, it's not just men, and we don't want to say that it's just men. There are some women who don't feel represented in those initiatives, and that is perfectly fine. None of these is mandatory. But for those who need it, it's good to have it. And so it wasn't appreciated by all, but the people who are in the Discord are saying they have a good time.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, it's a Discord, like basically Discord. We are talking and bonding and having friends, and as we are doing the same outside, we are choosing the people we want to talk with. So it's just a Discord.
Yeah, as I think it's Alex. As Alex says, it can be really invalidating and also really dangerous for someone to go to a TO with a concern about a player and have the TO say, oh, no, I know that guy, he's fine. And you're like, no, you're the TO, you're the one in power. Please don't say he's fine. I don't feel comfortable and I need you to take action. And of course, if, even worse is if the TO goes to a player saying, hey, she said you're creepy, and that, please don't do that.
Never go to a man when a woman or anyone tells you I don't feel comfortable with this person.
Don't force us to have confrontations.
Never.
Just keep an eye on it.
And don't press. It's if we don't ask for it, don't try to fix the situation that doesn't concern you, and especially when you have no idea how to like to know the real issue behind here. Like if it we won't tell that we are feeling super dangerous, okay?
Yep.
Sometimes we're trying to stay rational, and we will just say, okay, this guy is creepy. But we won't say the whole, yeah, this guy is creepy because I really don't feel safe with him, and. So you can put people in danger when you try to pick their issue for them.
Yep.
It's not your responsibility.
Sorry, I was just checking the timing. What should a TO do in that situation? First of all, I don't think it should be for TOs to handle. As Jessica and Tiros were saying earlier, it's good to have points of contact who are not TOs and who are people that we trust and that we know we can call. So people who would be kind of security service, who are players usually that you can go to, and there's several of them, so you can choose the one you're most comfortable with.
And TOs should
definitely
communicate. Yeah, actually, like we should federate us
yes,
together.
Please
like,
communicate.
If we are super proud to be a community, but we are not a community if we are not having discussions about the safety and the life of people in the community. TO, we are responsible of the being of our attendees, and it's super important to bond and to have a global like code of conduct. Actually, like we have.
Code of conduct is a perfect example of what to do. It's a
small,
faster and more regional, maybe.
It's a small, tiny society. Like it's just a small society. Like as I said, the community is exactly the same as outside, and we have laws outside, and we need rules. Laws.
Yeah, very good point from Man as well. Venue staff is also a very good type of people to contact because they don't have the bias from the Smash community. They don't know the community, they just see the situations and the people. So they're good people to contact. And then once you've contacted the right person, usually it's just a matter of keeping an eye on them and making sure that nothing happens so that the two people don't interact. And if they do, be close and make sure that they're not going in a hidden spot or that they're not starting to yell or hit each other. I mean, it's really basic. But if someone comes to you, you don't need to take action. What we're asking for usually is just surveillance.
To be aware, yeah, and to listen. Yeah. And to not contredire.
Yeah, just don't contradict. Like, don't gaslight.
Yeah, don't
people.
gaslight people.
Like when people believe that someone is a creep, the person might not be a creep, but in any case, they're uncomfortable and they need to be reassured. So moving on to what's next. So now we've talked about the initiatives that exist, and now what do we do?
We stay inside because of the
wash your hands.
You know, like virus. We're gonna die. Yep. Stay inside, please.
Bye. We wait for each clan.
So what's next? Keep the good initiative going is a great start. And stop losing time. Like when we start running initiatives, just look behind you and look back to the past years and realize that we don't need to discuss the efficiency of things because it has been proved 3 years proven. Mm-hmm. 3 years. So like we started with 3 women and now we are plenty. We're not plenty, but come on.
And now we're 8. Yay!
We're 8, but no, I mean like it's my first Asia plan. I was like my first Asia plan. We were like 2. 3. You weren't here. My first Asia plan, I guess.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So I was maybe me.
My first Age of Fun, we were 3, including that one. And Age of Fun 2020, we were going to be 22. So there is an improvement, even though we don't necessarily see it on a local scale. We see it on a continental scale. And I think for now, like we have good initiatives to have women talking together and to build that network of support that we need to feel comfortable in Smash. Now what we need to do is to actually change perceptions. So to actually educate the people who aren't part of those networks of support. Typically male players and TOs, people who have power and people who don't, people who can talk for us. Because for us as women, it is so exhausting to constantly talk about being women and sometimes having a man do it for us, not explain to us, but explain to other men what it is like to be a woman in Smash really, really helps.
Keeping in mind that usually when we are doing it in the Smash community, we're doing exactly same outside in our real lives, like at work or at school or with our families or with our friends from outside. So we are basically having the same conversations over and over again. So I'll learn to use Google.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, like just we have. It's not like we don't have a background, Just use it.
One other thing is don't forget to cheer on women when they're playing. Don't make it too obvious. Like don't be a burden by all being behind one woman playing, but make sure to cheer even if she's low level. It's fine. If she's higher level, don't put too much pressure on her, and just play with her, free play with her, offer to free play, because often we won't go to a guy we don't know to ask to free play because we never know it's that guy's going to be a creep, and we are taken out of many opportunities. For example, smash fests at someone's place. We don't want to be one woman at a guy's place with 10 guys around us. So if you have neutral spaces, like public spaces at a local, for example, make sure you're free play with us because we can't do that at your place. So that's a good one, mentoring programs, etc. So just making sure that the relationships feel safe to us. Like once we trust you, we're all going to be good. But when we meet you for the first time, we don't know if we should trust you or not. And that's normal life. It's not just Smash. When we meet someone, we don't go to his place with his 10 friends. We don't.
Yep, we don't.
Yeah, or we shouldn't, but we don't.
Well, okay, we actually do it.
Yeah, exactly. As Booby also says, at events, we appreciate to play with everyone, but sometimes it's difficult to ask because we're the women, we have a complex about our level, which we've talked about earlier, and also we don't know if you're going to creep on us, but also we feel bad and we feel like we're stealing time from real players, which we shouldn't. And if you want to help us, you can help us that way. And finally, maybe more...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to...
Okay.
So start and I follow.
And finally, more code of conduct application. All code of conduct application is very appreciated. Please do it. Like, bans change our lives, honestly. Like, there is one specific ban in France that made us both come back to the scene. Well,
you say name?
Yeah, Dax. I said no names, damn it!
Oh.
But no, but I think that one is important for sure. Like, there was harassment. This guy who should have been banned for his sexist views way before he did what actually warranted his ban, which had nothing to do with harassing women in the community, which I was not the only one, by the way. And he's the reason I left, and he's the reason many women left, actually. Like, didn't leave. I was the only one who actually left, but many...
Yeah, we stood back.
Stepped back, exactly, and came back after...
it took me 1 year
after,
to... I came back.
She came back after a year, and I came back after a year and a half.
I took a break at this time, and I'm still not really back.
Yeah.
But HFN was supposed to be my first big tournament as a TO, my first big one.
So yeah, really, like, yeah. So same thing for Jessica, who says she has a similar experience as a trans woman, not wanting to ask for friendlies from random people because she doesn't know if the person is going to be hostile or not. We don't know if the person is, because we're talking about creeps, but there's also just the sexists. And then on code of conduct application, I think one thing that is really important to say is that intention doesn't matter. He didn't mean it. He doesn't know how to talk to women, etc. I know, and they need to learn, and we can help them learn. But
in the end, the effect is the same. Like you hurt someone, and this person left. So
or will leave.
yeah, really. So it's not because you don't know that you're acting like a racist or a sexist that you're not acting like one. So when someone is telling you like, no,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't try to negotiate.
Yeah.
And when
we know
it's
they're your
about
friends,
one
and
of
we
your
know
friends,
they're okay when they're with you. We also know that we're not comfortable, and they can learn how to not be creeps outside of our social spheres, please.
and they will learn faster if you, as their friends, you explain the matter, the issue to them.
And good point from Yeet LMAO, who says explanation and justification aren't the same thing. It's good to explain those behaviors and to also make them understand. It doesn't mean that the behavior was okay in the first place. Like, intentions don't matter. What matters is the effect.
It doesn't excuse it.
Doesn't excuse, yeah.
Also, yeah, we faced this situation like a few weeks ago, like moderating a Discord, and one member of the Discord had a really bad behavior, and then we explained why her uh, attitude was not okay. Okay, and she understood, and she saw that since she apologized and understood, she was excused, and she
It's
didn't.
a good first step.
Yeah, it's a good first step, but it's not. It's not like, yeah, she didn't understand why we still punished her, because it's not because
she apologized and she was aware of the problem, but we still need her. That case, it was a her to understand, like, to show that she's changed and that she won't do it again, which doesn't happen in 10 minutes.
It's the first step, understanding and listening to, like, accepting why what people are explaining to you, but it's not a it's not a miracle, like you're not, you still have to face consequences. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people are saying like, yeah, he understood, he will not do it again. Yeah, but it's not like,
But he's
it's
done
not
it.
Yeah, he already has done it, he has to be punished for it, like for everything else we will punish him, so why not here?
So we have 3 minutes left. So quick conclusion, just for COVID-19. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Wear your masks. More importantly, for this topic, we've seen the whole thing in the US in July, which was mostly in the US and partly in Europe. We've seen a lot of accusations and of immediate action, which is really great. We've seen bans and we've seen people who were comfortable enough to speak up. And after that, we were hoping for more lasting change, which we haven't seen yet. Then again, it's COVID-19. Where do you want to see the changes? But we're lucky enough that we're at a period where we can take time off, take the time to think, and prepare and anticipate for the long term. Is the first time, and probably hopefully the last time in Melee history, that we have a forced break of several months where we can just think about our next steps. So that's good.
Yeah, and I'm personally not pessimistic because I've seen how the situation was a few years ago, and I see how is it today. Like, we're running a conference, like, hey,
hi,
and I'm pretty sure that couldn't have happened a few years back. Things that have changed, and I know it can be better. Like, it's already better. We've seen worse, and I know it's gonna be okay. I know.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay. And there's so many tools as well. Like, we have rollback. Now I see women coming to the Discord, Le French Melee Discord, and they introduce themselves, and I see a girl's name, and then their gender is never discussed again because it's the internet and you don't see people's faces. But there's so many girls who have started playing in the anonymity of their own house, and that we can now, by making tournaments comfortable for everyone, by making them accessible, we can get those people. Okay, we can get those people to in-person events, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Nico.
We can hear ourselves. It's very weird.
It's not for people.
So yeah, that's it for us. We're actually right on time, which is amazing. We thought it was going to be shorter, so we wanted to do questions and answers. So if you want to do a Q&A, well, I think our names have been showing on the stream the whole time, and you can find us on Twitter. Please do find us on Twitter or use the Eyes Open hashtag. And see you after the break for a talk by Bryce on top player privilege and the other types of power dynamics from people who have been in the community for a long time or who are playing at a high level. Thank you so much.
You're really good at this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you so much. And have a nice day.
And thank you for existing.